Hello everybody, and welcome back to Kinkoi. We are your hosts, Man of Stage, here with
Saturn Prince.
And together we are Bridge Boys Broadcasting. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. In the last episode, the soup we made went swimmingly. Even though there was some apprehension about it at first, but everybody came around, so that's the important thing.
And unlike soups I make in real life, people didn't die.
Well, I haven't died yet, but I also don't think I've ever tried any of your soup, so good to know for the future. At any rate, let's get into it. The soup I made went over swimmingly. And we polished it off right away as it was distributed to all 96 boarders. The girls who locked themselves in their rooms seemed to be in a much better mood after getting something warm to eat and soaking up some sun.
Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis.
Perhaps that was why, instead of going back to the dorm, I continued to work and prepare dinner on the Academy's sports grounds. Lunch wasn't enough. I wanted something warm to eat at night, too, so I had to make preparations. We were having curry for dinner tonight. After gathering instant curry and curry roe from the girls that had it on hand, as well as spices from the kitchen, it looked like we'd be able to prepare at least a single meal for 100 people. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it makes sense though. Curry is something you could make in bulk in mass.
Oh yeah. There was no shortage of girls who had a supply of rice, so we could prepare that as long as we had access to a flame. Mess kit cooking of sorts. We were unfortunately short on ingredients, but there were girls currently testing whether potato chips would make a decent substitute for potatoes. Maybe? I mean, I feel like you'd have to add a lot more potato chips than you would potatoes.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's gonna work out.
Might be good still.
おいしくなれおいしくなれこねこねこねこね
Well, I doubted you could mess curry up badly enough to make it unappetizing. Wanna bet?
Yeah, you've never seen me make curry.
As for me,
何してるの
Prepping for an overnight fire.
昼のは学園中からかき集めたゴミで火力を維持しましたが、夜の分が残っていませんからね。
yes, the biggest weakness to this cooking method was simply firepower. We didn't have anything convenient like kindling around, and the gas was in emergency shutdown due to the outage, so we couldn't keep the fire burning. Schools had plenty of discarded paper, so I used that as a stand-in this afternoon. But I'd gone through all of the loose paper I could find to keep the stockpot going and had nothing left.
薪とかは使えない？この学園周り木ばっかだけど。
Do they just have an axe lying around?
Look, do you think that Heroina would not have an axe?
On a school? I don't know, because she's lawful good.
Yeah, it's true.
薪は乾燥に最低1年かかりますので。
Okay, maybe that's a more valid point.
Alright, cool. Burning green wood creates carbon dioxide and whatnot, and actually ends up putting out fires.
Okay, apparently Ouro is also good at chemistry? Open-air fires could be quite profound.
There's no petroleum supply at this academy either. Which is why I'm relying on sheer manpower for now.
先輩松ぼっくり拾ってきました
Oh, good work.
それから松の木のチクチクしたやつですこれで合ってますよね
Yeah, perfect.
Akane-chan had regained her usual cheerfulness and was lending a hand.
枯れ葉も集めたけどやっぱり昨日までの雨でだいぶ湿気ちゃってるね
Firewood was a lost cause, but I could make general foliage work one way or another. Pine tree resin would likely be easy to burn, so I had them collect those and dry leaves from as far into the woods as they could go. They wiped the mud off both and hoisted them up in nets used by the sports clubs. The wind was strong, so I prayed it would dry by nightfall.
That just leaves this.
少々もったいない気がしますがね。
We had been processing rubbish we had gotten from the school library since earlier.
新聞か。
I was thinking they just grabbed really big books. Aw, man, War and Peace. That'll burn forever.
Yeah. It's like the day after tomorrow. You can't
Yeah.
burn books. Do you want to stay alive? This academy had newspapers just like ordinary libraries. The school received 3 daily copies of sports, business, and English magazines, weekly and monthly literary publications, major newspapers from Tokyo, Nagoya, and Osaka, and more. All at your local library. That amounted to about 20 copies per day. They hate trees on that campus.
Yeah.
These materials were stored at the school for a year, with older issues being disposed of at the end of every month. It really didn't fit the times, in my opinion, but they apparently couldn't stop since the family of newspaper company presidents attended here. Odd. That makes sense. As such, the room next to the library was used as a dedicated storage space for over 7,000 newspapers. That's not a fire hazard at all. Keeping copies of all 3 daily papers was genuinely pointless. We decided to save one and burn the other 2. A year's worth made for 2,000 copies. It would take a good deal of time to burn them all. If novice campers like us could utilize them to generate a heat source, then it would have to be paper.
インクを燃やすと嫌な匂いが出るので料理には向きません。あくまで枝葉の補佐といったところですがね。
We can just use these for the stock pot.
We had dead leaves and branches to cook meals. It would all work out as long as I knew how to properly use them to boil with a pot.
新聞を燃やすときはね、こうやってぐっしゃぐしゃにすると長く燃えて効率がいいんだよ。
You burn a lot of newspapers, third year girl A?
Look, we don't know her story.
こうですか？えい！ああ、これ楽しいです。
Yeah. A little bit worried she likes burning things. Have fun while you still can.
Honestly, I'm not sure if it's that she likes burning things or if she just likes crumpling up paper like a cat.
Yeah, that's fair.
I had basically no grip left after processing around 1,000 of them.
他に釜の作り直しも必要です。昼のものも良いですが、熱効率が悪すぎる。
Right, right.
We dismantled the stove I'd made with brick and we're in the process of rebuilding it in a better form. We can rebuild it. We can make it better. But I don't want to have to break any more windows. Who am I kidding? I'll break more windows. This time we built it in a form that we could cook multiple things at once rather than a single cylindrical outlet.
キャンプみたいで楽しくなってきた。
Really? Let me lend a hand.
Restacking bricks was rough when you had no grip left.
私は伝令役だから。
She
市
needs to
松殿、
increase her grip
こっちの
bar.
レンガ積んでください。
Right, right.
No shock that it'd be tough to force the princesses to perform manual labor. Ella-san and I would take care of it.
I learned how to make stoves like this a long time ago during classic camp, but I've forgotten since then.
十分できていると思いますよ。さらに改良した方がいいという程度です。
Yeah, the last time I heard a professional tell me something like that, I had to get my toilet replaced. I laid stones in a circular pattern with an opening to toss in kindling, our fire source, from one end. On the other, we made a through hole for air to pass through.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that said thorough at first.
A thorough hole for air to pass through?
Look. I can't read.
But you can fight.
Yes.
I knew enough to reach this point, but
もう少し高さを作った方がいいという程度です。燃焼物との間に距離が足りない。
Isn't it better that way since the heat can't escape?
その分酸素の巡りが悪く、熱効率が悪くなるのです。なのでまず燃焼点の距離と風の流れが。
okay. I was no match for a camping expert. Better leave the planning to Ella-san and focus on the physical labor.
Which I think she could do better anyway, also.
Probably. With these wobbly arms?
あ、オーロ、寮のゴミも持ってくるよう伝えてきたよ。
I'm already here!
Actually, to be fair, right now, he's like the man of the hour. He's actually good.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, thanks.
こんなのどうしようってのよ。
She had brought a yellow bag filled with trash. Each resident was responsible for their own trash, and we would haul out the burnable and unburnable trash weekly. It was a stroke of good luck that we had separated the burnable trash on Sundays, and we had a whole week's worth of trash at our disposal. That is a stroke of good luck.
これも火種になるのはわかりますけど。
Just like that movie Firestarter.
Wait, wasn't that the dude with pyrokinesis?
Was it a dude or was it a girl?
Yeah.
マストでバッチくない？ゴミを焼いた火でお料理とか。
Would you rather us burn your clothes?
Female student C. I'm not going to use any of this for cooking.
これら生活ゴミを燃やした火は窯を温めたり集めた枝を乾燥させるのに使います。それ以上の清潔を求めるなら残念ですが対応できかねますね。
いえいえ、そこまでじゃないですから。
Female student C is. Many of the rich girls did appear to be unsurprisingly fastidious. Regardless, we had to make do in this situation. Nobody was so insistent that they would go hungry over it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure there's like, well, I'd prefer, but I also want hot food.
Mm-hmm. I bet Joe Kosaki would be stubborn and refuse to eat, though. Yeah. Well, that's fine.
そんで、このゴミはこのまま？
Nah, we're gonna do some cursory sorting. Burnable trash could include tinfoil and whatnot.
I'd prefer to avoid anything non-combustible to whatever extent possible. Not only would it get in the way around the fire, I was afraid of the possibility of toxic fumes.
We'll have to look through every piece. Separate out anything that doesn't look burnable. Take out anything wet, too.
ういー。私もやる。
We gained another helper. All right.
But she's
一
not
月
that
殿も
important
そ
because
ち
she
らを
doesn't
手
have
伝っ
any
てくださ
picture.
い。さっきから手がプルプルして危なっかしいです。
I would appreciate it.
I was eventually assigned to the easier tasks. Separating light trash should be easy even with my jiggly arms. I'm a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
I imagined Squidward, the Squidward dancing.
朝からこの寸胴を使っていたのだ。休んでもらいたいところだが。
ねえねえオーロ、他人のゴミ漁りってなんか楽しくない？
You're gross.
Or a raccoon.
Although it is kind of a new experience.
おっと市松選手、お嬢様寮のゴミ漁りが楽しいそうです。
Damn it, shut up, Reina.
Reina, shut the fuck up.
やっぱりマストでけだものか。
Don't fall for her tricks.
We've gotten so far. Do you not realize how precarious our present circumstances are? Oh.
このままでいいようですね。
We were sorting through the trash.
This goes here. This goes here. Dots. More dots.
オーロロ、どうしたの？
There were many dots.
Well... Dots!
It didn't really matter. Seriously, it really wasn't a big deal, but fishing through trash from girls' rooms was pretty questionable. All of the residents, Reina included, seemed to generally be refined young women. Going through all these sheets of tissues was questionable, though. We'd occasionally find old toothbrushes, sweat pads, and a variety of other items. It was a questionable experience, to say the least. It seriously wasn't that big of a deal, but still, I'm gonna continue to make it that big of a deal.
I mean, it is, you know, it's kind of a thing.
Yeah, it is.
What is it? I'm just sorting. That's all.
Sorting! I'm just doing sorting!
何慌ててんのよ。
Nothing. I was so focused. You scared me.
An unexpected voice called to me. Our classmate and Reina's friend, I believe she was always there with Joka Saki.
これまで悪かったわよ。
Oh! Redemption!
Huh?
あんた、別に悪いやつじゃないって知ってたけど、その、わかるでしょ？綾香との、ほら、その。
We'll see if you maintain this change of heart as soon as Jokasaki's back.
わかるでしょ？
I did get it. I knew that the way she acted in class wasn't her own personal will, and I knew that she was trying to apologize for that at the moment. But why was she acting a little aggressive?
まったく、何よ、まったく。
Apologizing was enough to irritate her. She was like the sort of troublesome woman you wanted to smack after finding her on some online copypasta.
I understand. Friends are important.
It was true she had been rude to me, but I also understood how she wanted to stay on Jokasaki's good side.
You don't need to worry about it, and you don't need to act any differently around me from now on either.
Aw. Well played. He's the better man.
If I were to ask for anything, it would be for you to stop swooping in and trying to protect Reina when I'm talking to her. That hurts.
わかった。
Whatever on the rest. You don't need to force yourself to be nice to me either.
There would be those you didn't see eye to eye with. It wasn't always a matter of personality, but also of environment and interpersonal relationships. There was no need to force ourselves to get along.
Can't we all just get along?
Or at the very least, tolerate each other. At least, I believed as much.
そうはいかないわよ。
Wait, what?
あんたが悪いやつじゃないなら、嫌うのは筋違いだし。仲良くしてあげてもいいわ。綾香には、その、私から言うし。
Ooh.
I would like to see the conversation.
Yeah, really. Another view. Oh, wait, no, that's Parquet that does that. Dang.
I mean, this one could probably do it too.
True.
The other view, just Ayaka being like, that bastard.
No, I have the feeling, if anything, that would be in the fan disc.
Yeah.
How about that? Well, I wasn't about to turn someone away after they reached out to me.
I hope we'll get along then. Student girl A?
What was her name again?
メゴジン。羽賀まなこ。あだ名はメゴチン。
I thought we were gonna get to name her, like in Pokemon.
She lended a helping hand.
I see. I hope we'll get along, Kaga.
よろしく。
Kaga blushed bright red and glanced downward.
You know the best part about this? Even though, like, technically she has no model, but statistically, I bet she has black hair.
You know, you're probably right. Bashful, wasn't she? I had no idea if we'd managed to get along well. But I guess it was better than being on bad terms. With this, I gained another person in class I could call a friend.
Oh, that reminds me. Is it Kaga?
え
I just now saw the bag she was dropping off. The trash bags had your room number and full name. The signature space said Kaga Manako in tiny feminine writing.
This is yours, huh? Man, you got a ton of chocolate potato chips in here. You must be eating like 10 packs a week.
好きなのよ。悪い。
It's fine. But trash like this is all foil, so it's tough to burn.
燃やすことなんて考えて買ってないわよ。てかあんまり見ないで。
Well, we're sorting through trash. We kinda have to.
Actually, yes.
After sorting through the rest of her trash, I found something white buried among the discarded tissues. This had to be silk. It was velvety smooth and felt oh god. Yep.
What's this?
I unfolded it. Spring, spring!
Ah!
あら、ねごちん、くたくたのパンツでも捨てるときはビニールに包むなりなんなりさ。しね
Cool!
Well, that didn't last long.
Well, it was good having an extra friend while it lasted.
A little while later, I came back down to Earth.
He just fucking blasts off like Team Rocket.
Ding! Wobbuffet. It looked like the only classmates I'd be close to were Sylvie's group and Kikuchiyo.
It's okay, they're the only ones with images anyway.
Yep.
カレーって本当に素敵な香りね。
ソルティデージュにはまだ来ていないのが悔やまれます。
そういえば昔日本に来た時も食べたっけ。その後国にないと聞いてがっかりした覚えがあるわ。ほほいちが海外でも展開してるからお誘いしたら、一人暮らしで近くにあると嬉しいファミレスナンバーワンだよ。
Curry is one of those sorts of foods you get a sudden craving for.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm kind of craving curry.
いいですわね。考えておきますわ。
Their opinion of curry was,
おいしい。カレーもそうだけど、ご飯も食べてください。このご飯、私たちが炊いたんですのよ。
excellent. All of the boarders gathered together and ate their meal with delight, just like they had at lunch. That was most important. The sun was setting over the school and a huge crowd had gathered to eat curry.
A huge crowd.
It was just like a full-blown camp. Which reminded me of a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
おいしいです。
Have you ever eaten it before?
じゃあ、こっちも食べていいよ。
Oh, another voice.
先輩。
Sounded a lot like Ria's voice too.
I believe it is. I believe it's Ria. Yeah?
カレーごちそうさまです。お昼のスープもすっごく美味しかったですけど、カレーもめっちゃ美味しくて燃えますね。
Everyone made the curry together.
ですね。でも、 やっぱり私、先輩にお礼を言いたいです。美味しいカレー、ごちそうさまでした。
Sure, you're welcome.
Several other girls were there beside Akane-chan. I could see just how grateful they were from their eyes alone. Well, I'm glad you can, because we can't.
Look, that's the same thing I thought, and then I imagined the screen just covered in, like, eyes.
Oh god, it's like an angel!
It's worse.
It felt extraordinary. They were terrified of me up until yesterday, but those friendly smiles made me incredibly happy. At the same time, though, it was embarrassing. I headed inside to get away from them. Now that the sun was going down, there were several girls huddled together in an effort to escape the frigid air. So...
Oh, if you don't care for other people watching, I guess this is the place to be.
人目はあるんだが。
Yeah, only you, though.
Yeah, you don't count. Only one carefree person ever came here.
I'm exhausted after doing all that work today. Oh, how were the flour dumplings and curry?
She wasn't the sort to actively come pick it up, but I did make sure both meals were delivered to her naturally. Anyway.
まあまあ。
Alright.
ライター返せ。
Here you go. Thanks a bunch.
No matter how much burnable trash we had, I would need some catalyst to set it on fire. Never could have predicted that a time would come that I was thankful for her smoking habit. Rhea wasted no time lighting up a cigarette the second she got her lighter back.
You still have cigarettes left?
これが最後の一本。終わったら地獄だな。早く下の道復旧しねえかな。
Why not use this as an opportunity to quit?
うるせえ。
She wasn't remotely interested in what I had to say in regards to her health.
What'd that tongue do?
Oh well, I wasn't really the type to be bothered by it, so it worked out. Didn't sound like she'd smoke in front of anyone but me anyway.
なんか、すごい2日間だったな。
For sure.
This 3-day weekend was one for the record books. Who could have seen us suddenly going into survival mode?
でもなんだかんだ充実してたんじゃね。特にお前には。
Fulfilling?
I hadn't been bored, but it was a ton of trouble. My arms were still wobbly. Or so I thought.
充実だろ。
Rhea looked down below. We could see everyone from the dorm gathered around the curry pot and having a good time.
Guess so.
Yeah, it had been a fulfilling couple of days. 2 days with a satisfying outcome.
やっぱサバイバルってのが良かったのかね。一人男の誰かさん、急にモテモテだったもんな。
I guess.
Her phrasing aside, I had felt out of place as the only man, but it did feel like I fit in with more people now, too. That honestly made me happy.
誰かさん、女を引っ掛けるのうまいみたいだし。これを機にえっちらおっちらハーレムルート突入したりして。
I've looked it up, Rhea. That's not an option in this game. But thanks for the encouragement. The harem route, huh? I bet that'd be super nerve-wracking if I could actually pull it off.
Yeah, realistically, probably would.
してもいいけど、部屋でうるさくはすんなよな。
Yeah. I'll do my best. And wait, do you think I'm good at picking up women?
日本中探してもガチのプリンセスを毎晩のように部屋に連れ込んでる一般人は少ないだろ。
Look, we're not even in her route yet. Well, fair.
Also, she just kind of invites herself and shows up.
Yeah, that's not it. We don't exactly drag her anywhere. Well, except that one time.
Okay, yes, that was an exception. I wasn't dragging her back, though. She came to me. Yeah, that's exactly what we were just talking about.
That's not really what I've got in mind, though. I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to romance.
Among other things.
Yeah.
ふーん。純情って言ってほしい？童貞って言ってほしい？
It's nothing like that. When I deal with women, I get kind of nervous.
I always worried about making them cry. And if things would turn out like they had back in the day...
I enjoy being with Sylvie and the others, but I feel a lot calmer when around guys. Like how I am with you, for instance.
金玉ぶったたくからまた開け。男同士なら余裕だろ。
Oh, no, that makes it even worse. Another guy would never do that.
I was like, oh, she's taking this better than I thought. She didn't take it better than I thought.
No, she did not. She just led us on.
No. It's a figure of speech.
Would two guys hit each other in the balls on purpose? Would they do it because they're both guys? If they're on Jackass, they would. That's about it, though.
That's true.
Or if they just are jackasses.
I don't mean it that way. Come on, don't you get it? I just mean I enjoy hanging around a friend like you.
Ain't never had a friend like you.
あっそ。
Rhea tossed her used cigarette into the ashtray. Did I see her smile for a second there? She turned away before I could tell for sure.
でもいいのか？
Huh?
お前のゴールデンタイムは今かもだぜ。だらだら浪費してていいのか？人生で恋をするのに一番最適な時間かも。時間ってのは一瞬で過ぎていって、でもその過ぎた一瞬は二度と戻ってこないんだぜ。ゴールデンタイムは今この一瞬にしかないのかも。
Quit sounding like some school principal.
She quietly clicked her tongue and seemed less than impressed at being poked fun at. Well, she had sounded like a teacher, but it was always the soundest arguments from a teacher's lectures that left a lasting impression. What she was saying was correct. The best time to fall in love, huh? I was the only guy in a dorm of 100 women. I may have, in fact, found myself surrounded by the greatest possible ratio ever.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Tenchi doesn't get that set up.
I know, even if you combine all of the 3 shows.
Yep. If I had to say...
あ？
If I had to say there's one person who caught my eye. Oh, are we actually, like...
Oh. I don't...
gonna get the voice now?
I don't know.
シルビー。
Oh, wow.
だわな。
Bingo.
Oh, but don't get the wrong idea. It's not like I like her or anything.
Oh, nope, not yet. I did like her, but as a friend. I couldn't get caught up in that sort of thing, especially with a princess. Remember, be yourself. The biggest issue was...
She might like me.
ん？
Rhea's eyes went wide.
マジ？
She might have liked me, to be specific, a long time ago.
Oh, so he did figure it out. She visited this city way back in the day. It was then that she became friends with a certain boy, and that boy became her first love. And kept the Orohoro ring she received from him. I recalled giving away a present to someone who came to this city all those years ago. I had given the certain something contained in that box labeled Orohora to someone. And if I recalled, it was an incredibly cute blonde girl.
Ah!
Yeah, what is it?
We missed the sunset! Ria was looking bitterly up at the sky. Ah, the sun had already set. Yep.
くらー、てめえのせいで見逃したじゃねえか。
The moment the sunset had passed, she was nothing short of miffed.
Sorry, should I say that in this situation?
We could just roll back and see if we catch it next time.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was worth apologizing over.
もういいや。帰るわ。
Hey, wait a second.
I stopped her as she turned to leave.
んだよ、うぜえな。
Don't pry into such a sensitive subject and then leave without saying anything.
My past with Sylvie was top secret, you know?
チラ見も何もてめえが勝手に口走っただけじゃねえか。
Touché.
つまり何？あいつがお前のこと好きだったってのは確かなの？
I'm not just positive. I'm not going to say the rest of the reference.
It's likely.
Based on what she had told me herself.
Don't sneer.
鼻で笑われることを言うな。俺は鼻で笑うだけで済ますけど、他のやつには言わない方がいいぞ。猿お姫様は俺のこと好きなんで困ってますとか。
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
After giving it more thought, there were limits to how delusional you could be. However, this situation was anything but. Sylvie herself had said as much. I wasn't conceited enough to think she might still like me to this day. But... Ria, who had been gazing up at the sky, suddenly went wide-eyed. What was it? I looked in the same direction and noticed it. Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Everyone!
あら？どうしたの、オーロ？カレーもう終わっちゃったよ。
今火種が残っているので、このままお湯を沸かしてなんとかみんなでお風呂に入れないかと計算していたのですが。
You haven't noticed it yet.
は？
By the sound of it, it could be seen from the roof, but not from the ground.
We'll definitely be able to take baths tonight.
Okay. The power had finally been restored at the dormitory! For real this time!
明るいです。天気が来てます。
Oh, cool. I noticed Monaco has a name now.
Oh yeah. They apparently made it back in time before the day was over. The heaters were also back on and working hard to heat up the frigid dorm. The power had gone out at 10 a.m. yesterday morning and was restored 32 hours later. Japanese infrastructure sure was impressive.
お風呂に入れる！
You may want to hold off. It's going to take a little bit of time for that water to heat back up.
やったー！
That must have been the most important highlight for these high-class ladies. Everyone scrambled to be the first back to their room.
天 やりました
Nobody
ね
had
先
any
輩
hot water.
無事生還です
I mean, realistically.
You're exaggerating.
いえみんなが無事に寮に戻れたのは先輩のおかげだと思います
Really?
あの時の先輩はヒーローでした
Those words filled my heart and left a tingly feeling in its wake.
それでは私も失礼しますねお風呂
The heat was finally back on in the foyer, yet it was deserted.
お疲れ様でしたキャンプリーダー
Yeah.
Not that I had any idea when I became a leader.
I'm glad I only ended up a camp leader rather than a survival leader.
え
As long as the electricity was on, everyone could lead their ordinary lives here. We instantly returned to cultured lifestyles. We wouldn't have to worry about the cold or not having light now, and that seemingly simple improvement reassured all of the dorm residents. Although the lack of food was still an issue, everyone had access to water and would soon be going to bed on a full stomach thanks to the curry we'd made.
Thank goodness we never opened up the emergency supply room.
開けてしまうと完全にサバイバルですからね
There actually were reserves in the academy in the event of a disaster. I guess that made sense given that this was a remote academy in an earthquake-prone country like Japan. There was hardtack biscuits, some food, human-powered lighting, and something I was especially grateful for, full heavy winter gear. I wanted to avoid opening it up at all costs, as true desperation would set in the moment we did. Given the sheer number of residents, some of them would likely break down crying at the thought. This wasn't some grave emergency, it was camp. I was glad we had overcome this painful situation by keeping everyone focused on that particular aspect.
シルビー様がおっしゃっていた市松殿がそばにいると楽しいという意味がだんだん分かってきましたあなたは常に全体の調和を大事にするようですね常に俯瞰で物事を捉えている他人のことがよく見えている素晴らしい才能だと思います
If you weren't perceptive of everything around you, you'd never kidnap a princess.
それもそうですねああそれについて困ってしまうことが一点
It was her idea.
だんだんとあなたが姫様をさらおうとしたあの事件良かったことだったように思えてくるのです今のはオフレコで
That wasn't something a bodyguard should say, huh?
Ella-san headed off toward Reina's place, probably to take a bath, giggling all the while. I hadn't realized how close we had gotten in such a short time. The way I ran off with Sylvie, I wasn't sure even now whether it had been a good or a bad thing, but if nothing else, I was happy. That it had become the catalyst for me to come to Noble Academy.
Guess I'll take a bath.
I went back to my room too.
Ma, 合格点ですわね。金色ラブリッチェ。
This looks like a pretty good stopping place for this episode. Things have really turned around. The soup was a huge success. People seem happy with Ouro. Well, for the most part, up until he found those discarded panties, and then that new friendship was off to a kind of a rocky start, but what can you do? But the power's back on. That's huge. We hope you all enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in the next one. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.